It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends it, yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker here on the Full Court Press. 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, streaming on 1069thefan.com. Also on the 1069 The Fan mobile app. Lots of different ways to listen in real time or on your own time. Go back and listen to our podcasts. All shows available online on the app. Listen at your leisure to past episodes. So a couple different things going on today. We want to continue to look at what's going on in the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. Utah Jazz, their star, we probably won't see much of him anymore. Keyonte George rolled his ankle. But who does that open the door for the Utah Jazz? And there's this Summer League and what they're doing in Las Vegas. We'll look at how these former Aggies are doing in these games. Justin Bean, Sam Merrill, Namish Keta, continue to keep an eye on them. Taylor Funk. It's a few more games this week, and then it starts to get into this kind of playoff mode this weekend. So only a few more games left of what's regularly scheduled. There's been some discussion about changing, or rather expanding, the NCAA men's basketball tournament. There was a committee that met and started discussions about it. Do you think it should be expanded or keep it the way it is? So Major League Baseball also had their All-Star game and had one of its lowest ratings. In fact, I think they set a new low. Is that indicative of the current state of Major League Baseball, or is this a trend of All-Star games in general? Do you tune into All-Star games, or have they become a thing of the past, or at least the level of interest among the general populace seems to be declining, and it's not unique to baseball? So do you pay attention to All-Star games in general, or what could be done to kind of bring the interest back to All-Star games? 435-339-0321 if you want to weigh in on the Full Court Press text line. So a lot of different topics to cover today, and as always, if you got something else on your mind, we may entertain switching a topic that we're currently discussing.
No, we've never gotten off topic because of the text line. That's never happened.
Never happens, but we'll leave the door open just in case. Just in case. So let's start with the NBA Summer League going on. A couple games last night to pay attention to. The Utah Jazz played in the later games. Seem like they're always playing in the later games.
Yeah, they're not playing in any of the early windows because there's a few games that have already happened. I think there's one or two going on right now. There are one or two that have already completed. For instance, mentioned former Aggies. One of them is in a game right now. He hasn't shown up on the court yet. The Miami Heat playing right now, so Taylor Funk may be in action. Sometimes they've played him, sometimes they've not.
Yeah, but it seems like the Jazz are almost always in the later windows.
Yeah, they're always there. So I don't know what it is with putting the Jazz in the later window. It probably has something to do with the fact that they're a little closer to the West Coast.
Yeah, maybe
so.
I think broadcast opportunities for the East Coast teams put them earlier in the day.
Yeah, because like the teams that have already played today, Cavaliers, Bulls, 76ers, Hawks. Right now it's the Nets and Raptors, Heat and Bucks. They're all like Eastern. Maybe one or two of those are in the Central Time Zone. I forget exactly where the line is, but all Eastern. And then later tonight it's pretty much all Western. Mostly Western. You do get Minnesota in there, but.
Yeah, Central Time Zone. So, but for last night, though, for the Utah Jazz, they played the Denver Nuggets. Jazz won. They've won every game in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they went like 0-2 or 0-3 or whatever it was. And
Well,
they won the last one. They've lost the first two, won the last one. So like a 4-game win streak. I was making fun of them for being terrible in Summer League after those first 2 games. They haven't lost since. Should do that during the regular season.
I know.
Jazz, you're terrible in the regular season and terrible in the playoffs. You'll never win anything. There we go. Championship confirmed.
There you go. But Keyonte George rolled his ankle, played 10 minutes, and then he was done. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in that amount of time. He's very impactful while he was on the court, but that's probably the last we'll see of him in the summer.
And this exact thing is why we're talking about maybe he would end up getting sad. That's why Victor Wembanyama saw him play good. All right, you're done. Don't want him to get injured. I mean, you saw Chet Holmgren get injured last year, cut his season. And Keyonte George playing extremely well. We're all getting excited, and luckily this is probably just a rolled ankle. I mean, if he had to, he could probably come back within a game or two. If this were like the regular season, obviously Summer League gets nearly over. So this is why you worry, because what if he broke his ankle? I mean, he broke somebody else's ankle, but that was a different highlight.
He's done a bit of that this week in Las Vegas.
A little bit of that. He put somebody on his rear end in that game before he ended up rolling his own ankle. But obviously, you worry about these kind of things because, part of me really wanted to see Keyonte George keep playing because, I want to see him play. I'm getting really excited. But then you don't want to see him lose time potentially in the regular season, maybe lose development time in the preseason, maybe losing development time kind of during the offseason, workouts and team drills and things like that. You don't want to see him lose that valuable time because he rolled his ankle in a Summer League game. It is an interesting balance because Summer League is supposed to be his development time, so you want him to play development time. But, which is the most important of all the development? Summer League, off-season workouts, preseason, actual NBA games. It is kind of a balancing act at times.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But it'd be nice to see some of these other draft picks and see what they look like compared to other young talent in the NBA. But how they integrate with the veterans and the head coach, that's what's the most important. But still, it's nice to have a glimpse of what the future may hold with these players wearing Jazz uniforms.
Yeah, and that's why it's frustrating that Taylor Hendricks and Bryce Sensabaugh aren't able to play. Taylor Hendricks perhaps more so because he's the closest to being able to play. Bryce is still dealing with surgery recovery. Hendricks has kind of a bum hamstring right now, or at least he did. But they've basically decided, okay, Summer League, it's not worth it. We picked you number 9. We'll catch up to speed later. Don't need to see the glimpse of him, I guess. Or at least they're prioritizing him having a healthy hamstring over potentially getting that glimpse in Summer League. I should say. It's not that they're not interested at all in playing him in Summer League.
No, right. Yeah, it's better to have a healthy player. The best ability is availability. And so you want to make sure these guys are available when you are practicing with your full roster and see what they can do, because that's what your roster will be a better indication of what the NBA is going to look like than what's going on in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, pretty typically.
Yeah.
Summer League's basically G League. Sometimes Diet G League in some ways.
Yes, true.
It's more like sloppy G League.
Sloppy G League. A lot of these guys won't even make the G League.
And a lot of the guys, they're playing horrible basketball.
But last night, Keyonte George in his limited availability, again, looked great. But we also saw some nice performances from Ochai Agbaji. Huge block, chase down block off the backboard, which was awesome. We saw some other guys continue to play pretty well. So it's still a question of, is it going to be enough to warrant any kind of an opportunity with the real Utah Jazz, or is it going to be with the Salt Lake Stars?
Well, I think for the most part, you look at the guys who are performing, again, it comes down to guys who kind of already have a roster spot to some degree, either a two-way player or, kind kind of at the end of the roster. So most of the guys that you would say are earning a roster spot on the Jazz already have one.
Right. Agbaji's been a pretty regular performer and has had some nice games and performances in the summer. Luka Šamanić, I mean, he did a little bit at the tail end of last year. Looks like the Jazz have kept him on the roster so far, so they're starting to cross some thresholds about how much they guarantee him. Johnny Juzang, he's had some moments. He was a two-way player for the Jazz. He had a really big scoring game the other day, not so much last night, but most of the guys that you're seeing consistently perform are guys that we've already seen in Jazz uniforms before the Summer League even began.
Yeah, so it's just, you like what you see out of the guys. I think they've played well. The fact that they've kind of hit their stride, if they win one more game, then they have a good chance of being they will be in the Summer League playoffs if they remain undefeated. If they lose one game, it gets complicated, and I haven't done the math, but it would depend on what some other teams do. Would be interesting if the Jazz were able to win the Summer League, the Las Vegas Summer League, although without Keyonte George, that probably does get a little harder.
True. A couple texts coming through on our Full Court Press text line, 9315, saying, keep it in the way it is, or junkie team will make it not worth watching, like BYU basketball last season. Probably in reference to the discussion about expanding the NCAA men's basketball tournament or not.
Yeah.
And that's a great point. I mean, you expand it, and there's some debate about, does that really provide, will you really be adding junky teams or mediocre teams, or will you just be adding more P5 teams?
Yeah, if you look at who's advocating for NCAA tournament expansion. It's major conference people. I know the SEC commissioner's kind of been one of the people like to point out as someone who's talked about maybe expansion. And if you look at who's asking for expansion, it's the people who would directly benefit from definitely getting more teams, like the SEC, Pac-12, just all the power conferences.
Yeah.
They're the ones who will benefit. They're the ones who will get more money. Like, the thing is, even the teams don't even necessarily want it. Like, if you go down to the individual team level. Like, I know one article I was reading, they were talking about a CBS Sports poll, where they asked, I think they ended up polling about a third of Division I coaches, maybe a little less than a third. And 97% of the coaches didn't want to expand the tournament. Now, maybe if they were polling entirely mid-major coaches, that could probably swing this one way or the other. Because the thing is, mid-majors doesn't help them at all. Expanding the tournament does not help mid-majors, not in any significant way. Expanding it absolutely helps the power conferences because they get more teams in. It would technically and kind of have to make more money. There's no way that it wouldn't make more money because there's more games, more tickets, more TV, yada, yada, yada. So it's going to make more money, but it's just going to flow to the top. It's not going to flow down to mid-majors, not going to help them at all. It's just going to help the bigger conferences. So they're the ones who want to expand it, and literally everyone else, like 1 or 2% of college football people, the commissioners of these big conferences, they want to expand it. At least some of them do. Literally everyone else, fans, coaches, teams, players, they're all like, it's fine where it's at.
And we've seen years where expansion would help teams like Utah State, where the Aggies have had good basketball teams, but they didn't get that automatic qualifier, and so they were left out. And there are times where a team will have a good season and will just have one bad game in a conference tournament and be shut out. That does happen. But by and large, your group of 68 are among the best teams in the country that are participating.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I've said this before. If you deserve to be in the NCAA tournament, you will be in it. That's just a fact. If you deserve to be there, you will be in it. If you missed the tournament, you didn't deserve to be there. And that is the case for the vast majority of teams. I know, you could pick out some, cases where it goes against what I just said. And how Utah State, when they were ranked in like the top 25, missed the tournament. But that's such a fringe case that it's the general rule, if you deserve to be there, you're in it.
And mostly I agree with that. It's tough when a team plays well for several months, and because they have one bad day in the conference tournament, they miss out.
Yeah. And see, to me,
that is a bother to me. And so we're basing everything on a few days in early March, and we're throwing out everything else that was done in November, December, January, and February.
And see, to me, that's more the fault of the conference tournament system, that it is monumentally stupid. Like, you can talk about how technically the NCAA tournament method of determining a champion is also stupid, but it's stupid fun. The conference tournament is mainly just stupid. Now, it's directly benefited Utah State, so I know I'm talking against something that got the Aggies.
It's worked in Aggies' favor, absolutely.
It's got them in probably a couple of extra NCAA tournaments over the last few years. Maybe they would have been at large anyway, but it's certainly helped them. And especially making the runs in the tournament. Like, if you excluded the NCAA tournament or the conference tournament this past year, Aggies don't make it.
True.
They just don't, because maybe they didn't win the tournament, but the games in the tournament launched them into the at-large.
It gave
territory.
them more quality games on their resume.
But just for the most part, the conference tournament method of you get the auto bid if you win the conference tournament, that's stupid. It's ridiculous.
So the reason why this is being discussed, earlier this year, NCAA, the Division I, what do they call it, Transformation Committee, I guess that's what they're calling it.
Yeah, some fancy name.
They basically said 25% of teams in sports sponsored by at least 200 schools can compete in annual championship events. So if you apply that percentage and you do the math, that would increase the teams that could participate in the NCAA men's and women's basketball college tournament from 68 teams to as many as 90. So if you applied that formula to college basketball, there's a lot more teams that could qualify. And so they've been looking at it. Should we expand? I mean, you've said that 25% of everybody that participates should be able to qualify for the national championship tournament. But does that mean we go from 68 to 90? Expanded to 64 teams in 1985, just some history. Later went to 65 teams in 2001. And then they added the first four tournament, and so that went up to 68 teams in 2011.
Yeah, so we've not had like a major expansion. You said 1985, they went from, I think it was 53 to 64, right?
Right.
So it's like 40 years, if I'm doing the math in my head right. Now, maybe it's time, and if you talk about 25%, that sounds reasonable, but then when you apply it to 90 teams in a tournament, that, especially when you're not going to get that in college football, because that comes out to like 30 teams almost. I think there would be in a playoff for that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the math, whatever 25% of like
133.
Yeah, I think 133 this upcoming year. So I don't know. The one caveat that I've said, and this kind of counters, where I talk about, who wants the expansion, and it's the big conferences. The caveat would be if you added another method of auto bid, that is regular season champion of your conference, which is probably how it should be anyway. But we're not getting rid of the conference tournament, system. It's not going away. People like it too much. It is kind of fun, even if it is stupid. So add the regular season champion. If you're the champion of your conference in the regular season, you get in. That adds so much more meaning to the regular season. You can still have another method of, I took second place in the regular season, still get a chance to get in. So every conference suddenly becomes possibly a two-bid conference. Now, if the team wins the regular season title and the conference tournament, well, conference only gets one team.
Right.
Or maybe maybe you could do a thing where every conference is automatically a 2-bid and you like take the top 2 teams depending on how they finish. But, giving teams in smaller conferences an extra method, including regular season performance, actually give them credit for regular season performance and the long shot chance of winning the tournament. If you want to be a Cinderella in your conference tournament, you can get in that way. Or you can play spoiler in your conference and make everybody mad because suddenly you're only a 1-bid conference. That creates some interesting drama of conferences getting mad at their champion because they're a 1-bid conference.
Well,
because then everyone makes less money.
You try to mess it up. So
I hadn't really considered that before.
Try to make sure you get 2 bids.
Because I've had this idea before, and I actually didn't consider that would be an interesting, dynamic of that kind of system. But yeah, like if you had that, I mean, I'm not going to cry myself to sleep if the tournament expands to 90 teams.
No,
But it would have to include.
You'd have your top teams would have a bye.
Yeah.
And so you have your lower teams playing each other.
Yeah.
And so they probably don't expand the time period when the tournament takes place. It's just you have the lower, quote unquote, lower teams playing each other. The higher seeded teams get first or second round buys.
Then you might not even make more money because would it still be like almost same number of games? Or
I don't know. Maybe you just have more on that Tuesday, Wednesday window.
Yeah, I don't know. People smarter than me would be able to figure it out and make it work.
But this last year, we had some great examples of some good basketball being played in these quote-unquote mid-major or smaller conferences that went and had great runs in this in the NCAA tournament. We had FAU in the Final Four. I mean, San Diego State obviously went to the championship.
Yeah, the I guess, how do I phrase this? The bottom, the lower part of Division I basketball is catching up to the I guess higher tier.
Yeah.
Like the skill gap is closing. There's more and more good basketball players.
Right. When you look at the Sweet 16 last year alone, you had, and I'm not going to include San Diego State. Mountain West should be considered a high major. They're high end of mid major, so I won't include the Mountain West. But you consider some of the other teams that were in the Sweet 16 from non-power conferences. You had Princeton as a 16 seed. You had FAU that advanced. And then on the other side, I'm trying to think, there was another one or two that, well, maybe not. I guess those were the few that did make it to the Sweet 16. But FAU, San Diego State advanced even further. So you had teams that were in these lower conferences that advanced deep into the NCAA tournament. And there was a lot of fun games in the first and second round with upsets as well.
Yeah, and people were watching those games. People loved watching these games. So, if you can, again, my whole thing is like, if you're going to expand the tournament, don't, make sure you have it in such a way that it's benefiting all of college basketball and not just the SEC. Because you expand to 90 teams, then all of a sudden you get the SEC who's like, oh, every single one of our teams should make it because they're like all in the top 100.
Because, right, just the nature of the conference that they're in, they're going to play tougher competition week in and week out. So their net ranking is going to look a lot higher than some of these schools who win 30 games, but they're against lower competition.
Yeah, so just if you're the theory behind having 25% of teams, being in some sort of playoff, having a chance to actually vie for the championship, make it so everybody has a chance. That's the theory behind the college football expansion, is that there's zero chance that, I guess I should say at this point almost zero chance, because Cincinnati was able to make it in. They were the only non-Power 5 team to make it in. But there is basically a zero chance for like 100+ teams in college football to actually make the championship. That changes if you expand to 12, because suddenly it's like really only 20 to 25 that maybe have no chance whatsoever. So if you're going to expand the NCAA tournament, which basically everybody has a chance to get in and qualify and play in the tournament. So I don't see a reason to expand, But if you're going to expand, make it equitable.
All right, so we'll continue to discuss and debate. Got more texts coming through. We'll get to those. We'll hear from what this committee said today. They did discuss it, and they have an opinion on whether they should expand or not, so we'll get to that. Continue to look at the NBA Summer League. Pick 6 coming up a little bit later on this hour as well, trying to predict what will happen this weekend. It's all coming up on the Full Court Press.
This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. We have been a locally owned and operated family business since 1970. Daryl's offers you the most experienced service team in northern Utah and southern Idaho. Our service, sales, parts, and warranty departments enable us to be your one-stop appliance shop. We promise to give you the best quality service to get you and your appliance up and running quickly. Our huge parts department has the right part when you need it. Remember, shop local for the best-selling appliances and service in the business. Daryl's West on Airport Road.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
The new Prodigy Brewing on Center Street in Logan offers an atmosphere that's vibrant, energetic, and friendly. Serving handmade juicy burgers, wood-fired pizzas, wings, nachos, and locally crafted beer while bringing a unique space to downtown Logan. Now offering lighter lunch options like personal-sized pizzas and sliders, or choose from your favorites like wings, beer cheese, fried pickles, and more. Stop by for a quick and delicious lunch that will get you back to work on time. Experience Prodigy Brewing, exceptional food, extraordinary service, and family-friendly on Center Street in downtown Logan.
Don't get caught without power to your home or business. This is Tyler with Golden Spike Electric. We offer Generac backup generators to keep your home or business warm, avoiding frozen pipes, loss of valuable food, or even a flooded basement. Golden Spike Electric is certified and factory trained, so you know it will be installed right and properly maintained. Contact Golden Spike Electric so you'll never be without power again. Online at gsegenerators.com. We also service other brands. Golden Spike Electric and Generac. Power you can count on.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. We have some surprising but awesome news to announce. Purple, the rocket ship in the mattress industry, has purchased IntelliBed, the best mattress in the industry. We could not be more excited. The beds have yet to arrive, but we flew out with Purple, and seriously, this new IntelliBed Purple lineup, it is immaculate. We have the whole Purple lineup and the IntelliBed Purple lineup. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress, now partnered with IntelliBed Purple.
Elements has delicious lunch specials. Soup, salad, and bread for just $10 is tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecued chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite, Chipotle fried chicken sandwich. Thursdays, enjoy Elements house-made smoked brisket. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations.
At Cache Valley Bank, we are celebrating our pioneers and their contributions to shaping our great state. Join us as we celebrate the Days of 47 with our promotion. From now until July 31st, you can receive a 4.7 annual percentage yield on an 18-month certificate of deposit, or a 4% annual percentage yield on an 1847-day certificate of deposit. Come visit us or give us a call to learn more and be part of the celebration. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Member FDIC. No minimum balance required. Early withdrawal penalty may apply.
Interviews, analysis, and a little bit of fun mixed in. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
And make sure you join us in celebrating the gold and silver winners in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Shop local, support local. And you can find out who those winners are by picking up your own free magazine. There's about a dozen different locations where they're handing out these magazines. You get one for yourself, for your home, for your office. Somebody new to the area. It's a great guide for if you're looking for services and which businesses do the best in what they do. Or you can just go to bestofnorthernutah.com and check out the winners there. Find out the different locations where you can pick up your own magazine, bestofnorthernutah.com. You'll see those gold and silver emblems around the area. It's always kind of cool to see these businesses celebrate their win and encourage you to support those that did win. So it's always fun.
Justice for bronze winners. Come on. Celebrate gold and silver.
Only gold. We only celebrate winners here.
And what's silver do? I was in a store the other day, and they were displaying. They had a gold and a silver, so they'd been top 2. And
you can win in some businesses win in multiple categories.
Yeah,
it's very cool. So a couple of things coming through on the Full Court Press text line. There was this discussion back in January that would open the door for the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments expanding from 68 up to 90 teams. Should they do that?
Yeah. And I think part of that discussion was they were talking a lot about other sports as well.
True. Yeah, this was across all sports, but according to the formula which they had thrown out there, that would mean, well, if we apply that to the basketball tournament, then we're going from 68 teams to as many as 90.
Yeah, because there's a lot of sports that really do need expansion. We've talked about how football really needs expansion. And there's some other sports as well that just kind of need a bit of a boost.
Thing is, NCAA has nothing to do with college football postseason. They've abdicated that to somebody else, and
they haven't been doing that since like the BCS era.
Yeah, no.
Have they ever? I don't think they've ever actually had a playoff.
No, they've always allowed somebody else to decide the champion.
Because for the longest time, it was just the AP poll told us who the champion was. NCAA doesn't even manage bowl games, as far as I know.
Nope. Yeah, it's really weird how that works.
It's kind of stupid.
So on Thursday, NCAA did acknowledge that they had some discussions about this expansion of the tournament. They had their Division I men's basketball committee. They met this week. Really, all that they said was, one, they admitted that they're discussing it, but also, two, quote, it's not imminent. So expanding the field is, quote, not imminent.
So in other words, like not in the next 2-3 years, probably. Because that's usually if they announce that kind of change, it would happen in like a year or two. So if they're not having the serious conversation, and I don't think anybody's really taking expansion seriously, because I think everyone acknowledges we've set the line pretty good where it's at. If you're a team with a 500 or above record, it's just there's basically nobody with a losing record that's getting into the tournament outside of winning their conference tournament, getting that auto bid.
Right.
Like I said, I keep saying it. If you deserve to get into the tournament, you're getting in. And if you can find that line, which I think the tournament has, they're okay where they're at. Every team that deserves to have a shot is getting a shot.
And when you look at Selection Sunday, you routinely see discussions about who got snubbed, who got left out. Those are almost always schools from power conferences. Rarely ever do you see a school that was good in the regular season at a mid-major or even a lower major who just missed out because of their conference tournament being a team that's discussed as being a snub.
Yeah.
Very, very, very rarely do you ever see that.
Nobody ever talks about the 26-5 team that got snubbed, except for the fans of that 25.
Right, we're debating an 18-win team out of the Big 12.
Yeah, it's like, this year Louisville went, 18-16. Shouldn't they have gotten in? They played really well in the last 4 games of the regular season.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, and that's why I say, like, if they expand the tournament, those are the teams that are getting in. It's not the 25-6 team. They get automatically dumped because they're in a one-bid conference. Like, those one-bid conferences, if you are not the automatic qualifier, you are basically automatically disqualified. You will not receive any consideration. Not by some official measure, but by the unofficial way that we consider bracketology.
435-339-0321. If you want to chime in on the topic, 9315 texting in, saying, I like Jason's idea. It would make March Madness selection much more fun. Plus, the tournament teams would be a lot less because your conference has money. I'm not sure I understand or follow that.
I liked the first half of that text.
And then, nobody said anything about UVU not getting in last year. Great point. Utah Valley should have been a team considered. Nobody talked about them.
Yeah,
outside of the state of Utah.
If you're not in a multi-bid conference, then you're done.
Right.
You could go undefeated until the championship game of your conference tournament, lose it, and you're done.
5338 texting in, this was a little bit earlier, after extensive meetings, the 5338 Sports Reeducation Academy and think tank. This is a very
prestigious
organization. Very prestigious organization, yes. So 5338 letting us know that this organization is proud to endorse the new UFC Power Slap League.
Is that a thing, or is he making that up?
I didn't know UFC is adopting it. I know Power Slap or slap leagues is a big deal in some parts of Eastern Europe and in Russia. I've seen videos of this.
I feel like that should be a clue.
It's crazy.
You're talking about
guys just stand there and just take turns slapping each other until somebody gets knocked out.
I don't want to insult Eastern Europe because they are some of the toughest, most bad A humans on the planet. But they also live. There's a reason that they're that tough. It's because where they live is exactly the greatest place in the world.
No, it's
and this is why they come up for entertainment: is slapping each other. I mean, I don't know if I should talk smack because one of my favorite sports is where men just sprint into each other at full speed, and then with football and whatnot, they're absolutely insane the way they hit each other. So, but I don't know. Boxing was popular for the longest time. I guess just smacking each other. It's
gloves.
It's literally just a contest of forcing yourself to stay conscious and upright while some man absolutely wails on you.
I mean, you see some of these guys cock their arm all the way back and just really lean into it and smack a guy across the face, and he just stands there and takes it.
Yeah, it's like
how? How are you not?
It's
falling over.
It's pain tolerance and literally sometimes forcing yourself to stay conscious. When the guys fall over, they're not doing it because they're wimps. They're doing it because their body's like, all right, boy, I'm shutting down.
The brain is shut off.
We're done here.
And protect itself. 9315, by the way, sending in a clarification text, meaning money gets you more bids for your conference.
Yeah, that's why I say it would be really weird, because you'd get conferences to get mad at their champion teams because you could be a 2-bid conference with that system. But if one team wins both, your conference gets less money because it has just one team that's just that good. So it's like, oh, we would have been a 2-bid conference, but such and such team just had to win the conference tournament too.
Well, if you expand from 68 to 90, the value of an NCAA unit is greatly diminished.
Yeah, although does it get offset by an increase in revenue, though?
Yeah, potentially. More games, more tickets.
That's why I say the tournament has to make more money. It would just have to by virtue of games, money, TV, all that stuff. But
look, I'm in favor of finding a way to reward teams for how well they play in November, December, January, and February, rather than having something decided by just a few games in a quote-unquote neutral site. But the NCAA tournament is so fun the way it is now. I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, like I said, it's stupid, but it's stupid fun. Yes. And that's the best way you can describe the tournament. It's absolutely stupid, but we all love it. And the conference tournament, I really wish we could just get rid of conference tournaments and nobody would complain, because then that would reward teams for their performance in November and December. Kind of, because conference regular season championships are decided by conference records.
Yes.
But, you could get an at-large for, the things you did in November.
Just some math here, or maybe not some math, but just maybe this is further helps you understand what's at play here. There are currently 351 schools that sponsor men's basketball at the Division I level. And there are apparently 11 more that are going to be moving up before too long.
I thought we were already in the 360s. Or was I off?
According to The Athletic, not counting the 11 schools currently in the process of reclassifying from Division II, there are 351 Division I schools that sponsor men's basketball.
That's probably right. I'm going to double check, though.
The point they're also making is that this is significant just in the fact that the Division I committee is actually discussing this and looking into expansion, something they really haven't even entertained for a long time. So even if it's not imminent, it does signal that they're at least looking at it. So,
which they should look at it. Even if I disagree with them doing it, they should look at it. I think they should then reject it, but they should look at it. You don't just reject change because you don't like it. You got to examine it.
Yes, agreed. So anyway, that's something that's new today. NCAA men's basketball potentially expanding to 90 teams. Well, not quite yet, but at least they're looking at it. So how do you feel about potential expansion? Keep it the way it is or let more teams in? 435-339-0321. Also, the Major League Baseball had their All-Star game and lowest ratings to date. Still the highest viewed among all professional sports All-Star game events. Is it time to reevaluate what All-Star games are even all about? Or is this an ongoing trend that can't be reversed? How would you change it? 435-339-0321.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic and Hearing Aid Center are conveniently located at 2 locations, North Logan inside the new Three Peaks Medical Plaza and Providence on Gateway Drive. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette, along with the entire staff, have over 75 years of combined medical experience, guaranteeing your family the very best patient care. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho and accepts most insurance products, including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, North Logan and Providence.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
Girls, us guys are always trying to score some brownie points, but we need all the help we can get. So dropping some subtle hints is helpful, such as your favorite food is Italian, you love the color green, and you want the ring from Jarek's Fine Jewelry, the place with the bright green cars on 930 North Main Street. Okay, so it might not be so subtle, but that's okay. Remember, we need the help. Make it special, make it Jarek's. Now remember, just tell him it's the place with the bright green cars.
Forget the weather this summer with York Home Comfort Systems. Now's your chance to get local rebates, financing options, and industry-leading manufacturer-backed warranties on your new home comfort system. Plus, you can get up to $2,000 in tax credits with IRA 25C federal tax credit. Installing a York Home Comfort System's even more affordable. Maximize your savings and forget the weather this summer. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning Showroom is west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com. When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Summer is finally here. How do you protect your eyes from the sun? Crystal Vision, a Best of Northern Utah 3-time gold medalist, can build prescription sunglasses that match your style and feel. Crystal Vision sunglasses are perfect for golf, a drive in the car, watching ball games, or when you're out for a walk. Whatever your activity, their prescription sunglasses are made from the highest quality materials and components and feature interesting styles and lens colors. Your sunglasses will feel like they were made for you. Crystal Vision, online at crystalvision.com.
It's the Full Court Press, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Whew, it's hot. It's hot outside. It's going to be hot for a few more days. We're in the middle of summer. It's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to get a little hotter.
That happens every year.
Yeah. We're always caught off guard by getting hot.
I know. But make sure your vehicle is going to operate okay while it is hot. So make sure you get the right kind of oil. Get it changed at Valvoline Instant Oil Changer across from Angie's on Main Street in Logan, 695 North Main, open 7 days a week. And they'll make sure your car's operating in tip-top shape. in these hot summer days. So Major League Baseball held their All-Star game, and the National League won for the first time in 11 years.
It feels like every time the National League
exciting.
wins, it's because they're ending this really long streak of losing. Like, they just cannot.
I know. But it's got drew a record low viewership for the second year in a row. 7 million viewers, what they averaged on Fox. Previous low was last year at about 7.5 million, so they're trending down. And in fact, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game viewership has hit a low in 5 of the past 7 years the game has been played. So is it time to change things up with how an All-Star Game is presented? Should we even have an All-Star Game? The thing with the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is it still is the most viewed of all the professional sports in how they present their All-Star Game. And so while it is a downward trend for Major League Baseball, they still top all other sports when it comes to presenting their All-Star event.
It's tricky to just get rid of All-Star games because, being an All-Star is so integrated into all of the different sports. It's so integrated into American sports that the MLS has ham-fisted an All-Star selection into their league where it just does not fit in that sport. Because then the All-Star team ends up going and playing some, European team, and it just doesn't work. But we do it because it's American. We do All-Star teams. And we talk about, All-Star level players in the NBA or a Pro Bowl level player in the NFL, which doesn't mean anything anymore because, low-level quarterbacks have made the Pro Bowl. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yes.
Who's the Ravens' backup quarterback? I forget. The kid who went to Utah. He made a Pro Bowl, and he threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah,
It was in the single digits too. So it's he made the Pro Bowl. But it's hard to get rid of him because we see Pro Bowl as an accomplishment. It's goes on your resume. So it's hard to get rid of.
And it's an exhibition for the fans.
Yeah. But the problem is that you talk about exhibition for the fans, the games are horrible. Baseball is basically the only sport where you can kind of have a regular game because baseball's not this super intensive, high likelihood for injury. Like the pitcher is the person most in danger of hurting themselves in an all-star game. So that's one position out of 9. Everyone else can pretty much just play a normal game. And they'll probably be fine unless there's some freak accident.
And even then, they rotate pitchers out quickly just to get the other guys opportunities on the mound.
Yeah, they do 1 or 2 innings. So even then they're not exactly in any danger. They go out there, try and strike out a few of the best batters in the league, and then they're done. So, baseball can make it work, but some of these other sports, basketball, it's a farce. And everyone knows it.
And it's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and it's not fun to watch because nobody's taking it seriously. In football,
I will give the NBA some credit for the Elam ending, trying to make it interesting with that.
I think the Elam ending is stupid.
But at least the fourth quarter, it's a little bit more focused. But for the majority of the game, it's just silly.
Yeah.
It is what was it Jason Tatum? No, it wasn't Jason Tatum. It was his teammate. Jaylen Brown, who said this is a glorified layup line, which is exactly true.
Yeah,
Who wants to watch a layup line?
It's guys jacking up threes and throwing down dunks. And in football, it's worse because they finally went to this flag football style thing, which I think was a spectacular idea. I may have been skeptical at first, but you can have something that's fun and competitive. And that's the thing. When you talk about these all-star games, what they're lacking is competitiveness, effort, thrill, any reason to watch. So have something where there is a bit of thrill, a reason to watch, a level of competitiveness. One of the best moments in NBA All-Star Weekend ever was Larry Bird walking into the locker room, at least allegedly doing this, and saying, "All right, which one of you is going to come in second?"
Yes,
that is legendary. Vince Carter doing the "it's over" thing that now everybody tries to copy off of. Donovan Mitchell did, and I think somebody else did it this last year, except that guy lost, I think. But give us some competitive, and that's where I think you end up moving toward these, mini game style thing, the dunk contest, home run derby. Those are the things that are going to be able to thrive. Focus on those. Get your stars in there. The dunk contest is dying despite it being the most spectacular event in all of sports. And it's horrible.
Right, because there's a bunch of guys that nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody cares. Get your stars in there. Have baseball. I don't know much about baseball. I assume they're getting their stars in the home run derby. At least they're home run hitters.
Yeah.
In NFL, they're trying to find some kind of fun game. We'll see how that goes. But get your best guys playing competitive something. Have it be fun. Have it be a thrill, competitiveness, bragging rights. That's the way to go here because we're not getting that in the games anymore. So just stop trying.
I will say this. There is some information that should be encouraging for Major League Baseball. Viewership was up among males 18 to 49. That was up 6%. It was also up 4% among males 25 to 54. So younger demographics, those numbers are up.
Good for them.
Good for them. Another timeout. When we come back, we'll try to predict what will happen this weekend with Pick 6. I have 3 lines. Jason will have 3. I'll try to break the streak. We'll see how well we do.
We're closing on double-digit weeks, by the way.
Invite you to shout out your radio as you would try to guess along with this as well. That's coming up next to the Full Court Press.
This Monday, July 17th, there's going to be a bull riding event in the Tremonton IFA parking lot. NFR bull riders are going to ride a designated number of bulls, and for everyone they stay on, local businesses donate money. This is a fundraiser, and all proceeds go to April Jones. April works for the county auditor's office. She had a rare stroke and has had to spend 30 days on a respirator. She's a widowed mother of 6 kids, and the medical bills are piling up. If you can help April, this is a free event. You can go watch bull riders in the IFA parking lot Monday, July 17th, 7 p.m. in the Tremonton IFA parking lot.
Advanced Fireplace and Stove wants to thank you for voting them 3 years running the gold medal winners in the Best of Northern Utah contest. With over 35 display models in their showroom, their goal is to make the process of making your home comfortable and cozy an easy experience. With premier brands like Heat and Glow, Quadrifier, and Vermont Castings, they have something for every style, every home, every budget. Building or renovating, they've got you covered. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, where comfort is their business.
No matter what the conditions, DD Auto and Salvage can get your vehicle up and off your property. Now is the time to plan to make extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage and moving that old vehicle. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy to get rid of your junker vehicles, paying you the most money possible. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
Breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews. It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
If you need a new battery or new wiper blades, go check out Napa Auto Parts. So make sure you get the right size for your vehicle, and they can even help you install it. Several different locations throughout northern Utah. That's Napa Auto Parts. So pick 6. Jason's on a bit of a run here. I got to try to break the streak.
I was on a run last summer, too.
I know, something about the summer. I just struggle. So you won it last week, so you get to decide if you want to go first or defer and have me go first.
I'll go first again this time. So first line, Real Salt Lake this weekend. They play the New York Red Bulls. The line set RSL winning by 1.5 goals.
I'll take the over.
All right, I'm going to take
They're on a nice run.
They are. I'm going to take the under, though. I'll probably have them still winning, but not by 1.5 or by 2, I guess. Then Jazz Suns, they play Friday in the Summer League. Johnny Juzang, over-under points scored 9.5.
I'm going to take the over.
All right, I'm going to take the under. All right, and then we talked about All-Star games. WNBA All-Star game this Saturday.
That's right.
Team Wilson and Team Stewart are playing. I've got Team Wilson by 6.5 points.
I'll take the under.
All right, I'll take the over just to be fun. I have no clue.
I have no idea.
So those of us, you picked the over, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, no, I think you picked. No, never mind.
I took the under.
Yeah, I'll listen back to double check, but I think you actually did take the under. trying to make you change your mind.
Double back.
We'll go with what you first said. No, I'll double check what you said.
All right. Okay, so in the Summer League, combined plus minus for Justin Bean and Taylor Funk on Friday.
Gosh.
Setting it at plus 2.5.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go under, though.
I'm going to go over. Okay, Ochai Agbaji, he might have to play a larger role on Friday because no Keyonte George. So Agbaji, points, rebounds, and assists combined, setting the line at 30.5.
I'm going to go over.
I'll take the under. Cubs and Red Sox have a series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the series is in Chicago. So Cubs wins in that 3-game series. I'm setting it at 0.5.
Let me go over.
Wow. I will also take the over.
Okay, real quick, tiebreaker. Justin Bean over under 5.5 rebounds on Friday.
I'm going to take the under.
All right, and I get the over.
All right, that'll do it. We'll see you on Monday how well we did. We'll be back at it tomorrow, everybody.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. For years, professional sports shied away from embracing Las Vegas. But times have changed. Sportsbooks are now heavily involved in all major American sports. The new partnership adds a layer of protection to each league. Just look at how the deal helped sniff out Alabama baseball coach Brad Bohannon's illegal gambling allegations. Despite the success, the city's still looking to land a baseball team and an NBA team. With so much money now involved in illegal sports betting, it appears that it's only a matter of time until the city is filled up. Earlier this week, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver confirmed the league would be looking into expansion as early as 2025. And it's no secret the Oakland A's certainly have strong interest in moving to Las Vegas, even going as far as securing funding for a new $1.5 billion stadium. And with the connection between pro sports and gambling entities still growing, Vegas could still be primed for multiple new franchises over the next decade. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.